Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome to Life is Feudal. This is a game that a number of you guys have been telling me about starting a couple days ago, and I actually looked into it yesterday, and it looked pretty interesting. Now, it's a large open world sandboxy kind of game, except in that you can, while you will be building and crafting things, it's fully open PvP, so you can work together with other people to make towns, but you can also be fighting against each other. Kind of an interesting concept here. Not entirely new, but definitely one that looks very pretty, has a lot going on for it. Some cool features like gaining skill points by using those skills, and yeah, something that obviously a lot of people are very interested in. Now, the description for this game says that it's a realistic medieval multiplayer sandbox with terraforming, free preset and modular building construction, rich crafting, and there's all kinds of crafting you can do: foraging, farming, animals, that kind of stuff. Survival, there's no target physics-based combat, so basically you don't target an enemy, you just kind of aim at them and swing. And they've got a combat formation system where you and a number of other players can like make formations in combat and everything. So all of that kind of stuff, but all of that happening within this large open sandbox world. So first thing we do when we jumped in, and I've been running around a bit. I did remake this character a little while ago, so pretty fresh here. But we open up the paper doll in our inventory, and you start with rags. I've dragged those over, and I've been gathering a couple things here. Now, one of the reasons I remade my character was so that I could start with a max forestry here at 60. And basically, these kind of branch over to the right. And in order to, I can level up the one right here next to it, logging. But I couldn't get carpentry until you get to 60 on the first one. Then you can move into the next one, and then logging has to be 60 before you get into bowcraft, and so on. And the forestry was going very slow for me. It was at 50, and it took a long time to get to 51. So I remade this character, threw it to 60, so I could experience some of the carpentry, hopefully. So anyway, we are going to have to go through the logging again. I think I only had to get it up. Actually, I don't know how far you have to get this up before you jump over. I think there's just a prerequisite here as far as stats go. And that's another reason I remade this guy. I pumped everything into strength and con, so he's very much a logger. So we're going to have to make a tool for him. Now, one of the things you get started on right away is gathering the very basics. And you can do that by right-clicking the ground near you, and you'll be presented with a lot of options. In any of these options, you can go down, for example, to gather plant fiber, and I can right click it and make it the default, and it will appear up here every time. So let's go ahead and do that, and we're going to gather some plant fiber. Now, as far as this game goes and videos go, I don't really plan on doing a series. I thought I would just kind of introduce you guys to this game really quick, and I might do another video or two. Just, it really depends, but I just thought I would show you guys the basics, like I said, and especially because I've been playing it and a lot of you are messaging me on Steam asking me about it, so this is my way of showing you. Okay, so obviously you can't call yourself a logger until you have an axe, and some of the other stuff we had to gather here was flint stone. We gathered sticks off the trees, and I've already gathered up some of the grass, the plant fiber. So what we're now going to do is jump in here to our inventory. We're going to right click the stick and create a primitive tool, selecting the primitive axe. You can see we, at least I thought we did, have everything. Oh, we need 2 of this plant fiber. That's right. I thought we were all set. Now, I did read that that can actually vary from player to player, kind of what's required. But I don't know if that's actually the case right now, if that's implemented, or if I just read that wrong. But I read something about the crafting recipes being slightly different between players. So anyway, we should be good here. Let's go ahead and create this. Go to the axe. Looks like we're good. We can now hit craft. So he's going to get going with that. And then what we'll do is we'll be able to drag that in and equip it, and we can start chopping down trees. Now, our logging skill is pretty low. Let's see. You can't really see the skill down in the bottom right, but you can see that we've got, basically, as we do things, for example, when you receive the plant fiber, my nature's lore, intellect, and willpower went up. These are very small amounts that go up, but over time, they'll get there. So I'm going to drag the axe in here. We have to pat our arms for some reason. Make sure we're buff enough to hold the axe. And then we can actually get started. Now, we can't just go chopping any tree. Even when I had my logging up to 29 on another character, I still couldn't chop down birch trees, even though they were relatively smaller. I had to start with some other trees and kind of work my way up as my logging skill increased. Now, again, even the small, thin little birch tree I'm facing here isn't going to cut it. We've got to go to one of these guys. Actually, no, not that. One of these guys right here. So I can actually walk up, right-click this. We can go to logging. I'm going to right-click it to make it the default. And cut it down. So we're going to chop. And again, on the bottom right, you're going to see that we... Let's see. Our logging increased to 1.67. We're going to want to get that up. Now, I don't think... I know at some point it kind of jumped up to the larger trees. Ah, we can do this one. So I think you just have to get it above 1 in order to move up to these size trees. And again, it's not only the size, it seems to be this type as well. So, are we going to get worn out? Yeah, we need to catch a breath. This is where Constitution comes in. Mine's pretty good, but anyway, we're needing to catch a breath regardless. So it does kind of pick up where it's left off. It'll come down. There you go. And one of the things we can do is grab this. Now, right now, I'm really not going to focus on grabbing this. You can see I'm very slow carrying it. And we would really need Carpentry to do anything with this anyway. So right now, the focus is to simply gain the skill. Now, when I went to place that, you saw some controls come up. You can actually just spin it around, rotate it, do things like that, and kind of place it where you want, in case you want to make your own wall, for example, or things like that. So basically we're going to run around here, chop some more trees down, try to get our logging skill up. So one of the things I'm really enjoying about this is the scope of the game, the kind of the size of the world. It's pretty big. You get this mountain over there. Whenever you spawn into the game with a new character, you start in a different location, though it seems you do start kind of near the water, you know, near the beach. And in my roaming around, I've met a few people, including Dexter. You can see down in the chat. We were talking earlier, so when I came back with this newly made character, we picked up our conversation again. Now, he's actually located out on this. There's an island straight ahead of me. In fact, if I bring the map up, you'll see there's an island out there. I was actually out there with him and someone else. We were messing around out there, setting up a campfire and everything. So I do want to head back there. But before I do, I thought I'd give you this quick look at a view. I'm not as high as we could be. This hill actually goes up beyond this point. But I actually want to run back out to the island and meet up with Dexter and see if we can gather some more materials and chop some more trees down. Alright, I'm about to make the swim here, and I thought I would show you guys this for those curious what the water's all about. We're kind of like a jet ski in this stream we leave behind us. But you can indeed go underwater. Oh, and this is very uneven terrain. The last place I went underwater when I first crossed to the island was from another angle, and the ground was very smooth. But look at this, it's pretty tore up and very deep. And I don't know about needing oxygen or anything. I don't see anything, so we can hope that that's not the case. I'm going to actually try to swim back up here. And let me explain to you some of the things going on the bottom left of the screen. So we have the our kind of character there indicating what I believe would be injuries. We haven't had any yet, so it's not been an issue. But the next kind of bar over from that, it's got a 0 with a line in the middle. That's an alignment bar. The next guy was, what was that? Oh, that was our hunger. So we're currently at 70 hunger. And then we have our hard hit points and our soft hit points. So 109 and 109. The soft hit points, anytime you take blunt damage, the soft hit points are going to come down. And if they get to 0, you get knocked out. If your hard hit points come to 0, you die. And the green bar, finally, we have our stamina. So that's going to determine how long we can sprint for, how many, you know, the trees we can chop down, how frequently we can do that. So I must have gone really deep. I think we're coming to the island here. Whoa, did something come after me? Ah, that was scary. Maybe it was just my foot. Maybe my foot clipped through, but something came over, it looked like. Anyway, there are creatures out in the world, although I've only seen a few, and I have been killed by one, a wolf. A wolf and an elk, though. Those are the only things I've seen out in the world. Okay, I've made it back to the island, and you can see we've got Loop hanging out over here, Loop Hoss, and he's building a campfire. Oh, a furnace. I thought he had a campfire going. You can see he actually has a campfire built over here. He even laid down a log, perhaps to sit on. So that's set up. We came from over there, in fact, way out over there. And we're going to run over here because there's a couple people floating around, including Dexter's probably over here where I last left him. So I've been chopping trees along the way. You can see the logging down in the bottom right is now at 24.5. So that's coming along pretty well. We're getting caught back up. Okay, there's Dex. He's out here working away. We're going to walk over here and see. We've got some logs I laid out here. When you lay the logs down, they actually have a timer before. I assume anybody else can just pick them up. Had my name on it and a 3-minute timer ticking down. So anyway, we got some logs here. Dexter had set up this campfire, so we can play with that a little later. I'm not sure if he got that burning or not. So let's see. We've got this great view out here, and there's actually another house on this, or not a house, but basically somebody stacking up some logs to form a shelter. And it's kind of near the edge of the island. Let's see. I'm kind of facing it out towards the upper northwest tip that has a really cool view. I'm going to actually head out there at some point because I really want to show you guys that spot. He just had the perfect spot. So anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll probably chop a couple more trees down, do a little bit more work here. I've got logging to 24. I was unable to get it past 29 on the previous character because it said I wasn't meeting the prerequisites for strength and con, and I think I just had it a little too low. This character now has a 20 strength and 19 con, so I'm hoping we can pass that 30 cap, and maybe that's what it takes to get us into Carpentry. Okay, I'm pretty excited. Chopped down some trees and my logging actually went above 32, or above 30. I wasn't really paying attention. I looked over and, oh, we're above it. So I looked in here and you can see we have Carpentry lit up. So it does seem like you need to get above 30 in order to progress to the next one. And again, if I recall correctly, you do have to have this as 60 in order to get to the second one. So that's cool. We've got that going for us. Now I walked over here and you can see I can now right click on these, and before, while I could only lift, now I actually can lift, or I can saw a billet, a board, or a building log, which is very cool. We actually can start using these. Now additionally, what I want to do is I want to make a saw, because I have a feeling that's actually what it takes to take down some of the other trees. But we can use the axe on certain trees. I can almost tell by the bark which ones we can do. I'll probably be wrong, but I think this is one. Yeah, so we can cut that one down. This guy back there. We could cut a number of these guys down, but the other types we can't. So I actually wanted to try to make a saw. Now it looks like Dex is out here doing some terraforming, kind of leveling this out, which is pretty cool. He probably wants to get something built out here. He's got a shovel on his back and a pick and an axe. So anyway, what we want to do is look at making a saw, so I can try that out. So we're going to jump in here actually into our inventory. We right click, create a primitive tool, and we're going to go to primitive saw, and you can see that we need 6 more stone, we need 3 fiber, and a couple more sticks. So I'm going to get on that and see if we can make a saw. Okay, well, as promised, I wanted to show you the view. So this guy over here, he's actually started to set up. He just stacked his wood in kind of an odd way here. You actually can make homes and everything, but he probably just doesn't have the carpentry yet. And I think you probably need even more than that. So anyway, he's got his wood stacked up here. I ended up dragging a log over here and setting it down randomly in his area. He does have a bag sitting over here as well. It just had a couple of these boards in it, these, what do they call this? Building logs. And I dropped a couple items in here just to kind of spook him out. He or she, whoever is here. So anyway, this is the spot they picked out, and when I ran across this, I loved this view. You can see the mountain out there. You got the shade of some of these trees here. We're at the edge of the forest, and it just kind of drops down to the water over there, and kind of all around here. So a very cool view, lots of woods available, easy access to stone, you know, you got the sand, water, all of that stuff, and just a crazy awesome view. Very cool. So one of the things I was trying to get to was into the carpentry and wanted to make a saw, and I actually have the materials to do that, but I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I realized that the saw may be used to chop trees down. It may indeed be used to saw them, but what I know it's used for sure is actually creating the boards. So basically I went to one of my logs and tried to use the carpentry, and it required the saw, of course, to make the boards. So anyway, I'm going to head back to the guys back there. We're on this complete other part of the island. So we're going to head back where I was, we're going to make the saw and do all of that stuff, and I'll probably do that in another episode. So again, this is just a quick kind of show you guys the game video and show you what I've been doing in it, and don't really have a series planned, but I'll probably do another video or two or so. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for stopping in and watching, you guys. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.